Welcome to another episode of Becoming Retail, where Rob and I talk about the trends and findings that we've come across during our research for this program. And I'm excited to talk about innovation today. It certainly is one aspect of digital transformation that we are exploring, right? You can't really have digital transformation without innovation, but both of those words are very big and very abstract. So one of the exciting things about this program is really talking to people and using our survey to understand these abstract words and make them real and tactical. So in our survey, we asked our survey respondents, these retail leaders globally, what type of measurements do they use to evaluate success? And the first one, well, there were three buckets. The first one was customer engagement measures. The second bucket was financial measures. And the third bucket was innovation measures. And 24% of our leaders responded that innovation measures were the key metric that they used to evaluate the success of their digital transformation. And then within that bucket, we broke it down into three main types. The first is the ability to improve your reputation as an innovator, both internally and externally, the consistent creation of products and services, and third, getting the organization ready for digital transformation. So with that, we have been lucky to talk to some of the great people in the space who work on innovation. And so Rob, I'm going to kick it over to you to talk about your interview that you did with John Hazen.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. Really appreciate you laying that out for us. And yeah, as you mentioned, I talked to John Hazen, a good friend of ours, Chief Digital Officer at Boot Barn. And his mantra, his philosophy for digital transformation in general is, let's just try it. What could go wrong? And his point is, it's not open heart surgery. Let's take some risks and see where it goes. And some will fail and some will really help us innovate and stay ahead of the customer. And the real story that popped to me around innovation was, they're all experiencing within his culture and his company, the surge of buy online, pick up at store. And so the problem that they were looking to solve, and that's really key in terms of not just doing innovation for innovation's sake, but really looking to solve a problem, is how do we fulfill those orders in an efficient and effective way? So one of his team members came to him and said, you know what, why don't we put a device in the store that alerts the associates to when a buy online pickup at store is ready to pick, pack, and fulfill. John said, great, how are we going to do that? And his team member said, hey, I have a 3D printer. Why don't we just create a device that has an LED inside and is triggered? It's connected to the cloud. And when an order is available, it turns a different color. Green means there are no orders. And when it starts to flame up to red, we know there are orders to take place. And that's what they did. They tested it out. And by the way, they made it fun. They called the device not Alexa, but Annie. I believe it was Annie Oakley to have a Western theme for Boot Barn. And it worked. They saw benefits. They saw efficiency. And by the way, they saw adoption. And so what they did is they took that same 3D printer and they produced more than 200 and shipped them out to each of the stores. And this was an organic type of innovation that was solving a specific problem. And it was done by the team members and accepted, and they tested it and it worked. So it just shows it doesn't need to be just innovation for innovation's sake or trying to solve world hunger here, which by the way is really important as well, but really trying to solve a specific problem. So, hey, Michelle, I know you've had some really interesting conversations as well. You want to highlight something that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, definitely. We spoke with Orchid Bertelsen, who's the head of innovation at Nestle. And it was really interesting speaking to her because Nestle is a $100 billion company in sales and almost, 40 brands at any one time. So her perspective on how to do innovation in such a large corporation was just really fascinating to me. So she sits in a digital center of excellence, and her remit is innovation for all of the brands. And sometimes it's a push kind of relationship where they think that there's a customer problem that they can solve, and then they go out to the brands to help them with that, or the brands turn to them in a pull measurement or pull type of activity, asking for help on innovation in a space they have. But like John, it really boils down to what customer problem are you solving? And then what she does to evaluate that, once she has an idea of a problem, is the IDEO framework, where is it desirable? So again, is there a problem that the consumer needs solving? Is it feasible? So can Nestle actually do that work? And then is it viable? So is there a long-term business case for that product innovation? And so she definitely has an innovator's mindset, both for like customer problems, but understands the need for innovation as part of digital transformation, right? You need to know where you're about to go, and you will have to try new things in that digital transformation to get there. And so like John, it's about testing, iterating, learning, and then scaling that process up, not only for consumer innovation, but also for digital transformation at a company. Obviously, Nestle has done a lot of that, especially as channels have shifted and have gone online. So very fascinating to get both of their perspectives on innovation.
Yeah, you know, what we're validating and continually learning with Becoming Retail is in fact not just about the machines, but about the humans, about the people. And in this case, it's about the customer and solving customer problems as it relates to innovation, and employees and getting them excited and empowered and allowing them to take some risks to solve those problems. So once again, really happy to talk Becoming Retail and see people's journey, in this case, around innovation and moving from scrappy to scale, particularly amidst this global pandemic.